Max Greenfield. This is Max Greenfield being interrupted by Joe, who hosts the Boys Podcast, which I will be on, or am on, and it's what you're watching. I was supposed to do this in a totally different way, but Joe interrupted me and I forgot my lines. This is Max Greenfield, and you're watching the Boys Podcast.
Not a big deal. I've seen Nick's stuff like 1,000,000 times.
You have? I mean, how?
We grew up together. Locker rooms, swimming pools, penis fights. It just happens.
Why would I see it?
Why do you want to see it?
He's my best friend.
Again, why do you want to see it?
What if Nick gets into an accident? What if he's horribly disfigured and I have to identify him? And all that remains are his private parts. And I'm standing there and I'm saying, sorry, officer, I can't help you because no, I haven't seen his penis. And then boom, he's buried in an unmarked grave.
Again, why do you want to see it?
What did it look like?
What do you mean?
Just say when. Just say, seriously? Are you serious? Okay, you know, this is impossible. I'm starting over. My name is Janine, all right? God.
Don't make that sound.
Good morning, Nick. You really gave it to me good last night. You gave me the full business. Yeah.
This is really weird, Schmidt.
It's one of the weirder things we've done.
I don't care. Are you now bumped down to regular groomsmen, or are you out, and now there's an opening?
Marty's a big baby, but he is my baby brother.
You're right. You're a good brother. Damn it.
And welcome back to our Boys Podcast. My guest today is making their third appearance on my show. He's an actor, voice actor, author, producer, and director. He's best known for being in That 70s Show and That 90s Show as Eric Foreman. At Spider-Man 3 as Eddie Brock, a.k.a. Venom. Take Me Home Tonight as Matt Franklin. Oh, shoot, I'm reading the wrong thing. My guest today is known for being Veronica Mars is Leo. Ugly Betty is Nick. New Girl is Schmidt. Bob's Burgers is Boo Boo. Ice Age Collision Course is Roger. The Neighborhood is Dave. The Valet is Vincent Royce, and many more. So welcome my best friend, my brother, Max Greenfield.
What's up, Joe?
It's a long time to talk.
I've got questions for you, too.
What you got?
Well, you go first. It's your podcast. You go first.
Okay. Well, the first question's a video question.
Oh, baby.
Okay, remember how I did the video questions last time for part 1 or part 2? My fault. Remember that? We had Jeff Kinney. Remember? They got the mustache cheese. Okay.
Did you switch it up? You do in the beginning now?
I do. I'm gonna do video, mind, fan, and like a pattern.
Great.
Can you see? Oh, is that too bright? It might be too bright. Oh, can you see?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hey Max, this is Tom Choi, I did the voice of Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat video game series. I'm a fan of yours. Quick question for you. What are you doing to keep yourself preoccupied during this writer's strike and possible pending SAG-AFTRA strike?
I did guess, so you don't know who the next person is. So what do you think? So what are you doing?
Pretty cool that you got Liu Kang to come in and ask me a question. Feel pretty special about that. I like that he's a fan. Fan of yours too, Liu Kang. What am I doing? I have 2 kids, and we got a new dog. The new dog's pretty cool.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no strike, working, whatever it is. Always busy with these kids.
So you got a new dog. I know you had Joe. Remember?
I know. Joey's no longer with us.
I'm sorry, Max. I didn't know that. I'm sorry, Max. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cry.
Joey's no longer with us, but it was not great. But we got a new dog. Her name is Darlene.
Darlene. Is there a certain name? Why is it Darlene? Why is it? I'm curious. Why is it?
Well, she's a rescue.
Okay.
And so her name originally was Darlin.
Okay. Darlin.
Which I really like, but it's tough for the kids. They were like Darling or Darlin, and it was confusing. And so we just decided we're going to call her Darlene. And she seems to respond to anything with Dar in the beginning of it. So we like Darlene. We've decided that she's from the South. And she's a perfect dog. We're very happy.
Nice. I'm sorry I mentioned Joe. I feel bad now. I really do. I'm like,
No, it's okay. Look, man, he was old. We rescued him during the pandemic. He was the best dog ever. But he was old and he was really sick, and it was time, Joe. It was time. Now you're the only Joe in my life, aside from my mom.
Now, this next question is actually one of my own. Can you walk me through all these questions by the fan also the fan questions? The ones I'm maybe asking you, or from the Reddit group r/New Girl. If you're curious.
I thought they were all from Liu Kang.
You like Liu Kang?
That was cool, man. I used to love that video game when I was a kid. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so my question for you is, can you walk me through the audition process? How did you land the iconic roles of Schmidt and Dave? I'm curious how you got these roles. I'm curious.
New Girl came about. It was written by Liz Merriweather. It was she still is the best writer I've ever worked with, and the pilot was so well written. And when you have good writing, it's easy to be a good actor. And I remember just reading that script and thinking, I'll never get this job, because Zooey Deschanel was involved and Jake Kasdan was directing, all these established people, and I haven't really done much. So I thought they're definitely not going to hire me. But the material was so good. I just was like, I really just want to do a good job in this audition. I want to do the best job with this material that I know that I'm capable of doing. And so I went in and I just, sometimes you get really lucky. You have like the best day of your life on the day that you're auditioning for the thing that you're supposed to be right for. And so I think there was a lot of luck involved, but it was just one of those things where it all finally worked out after thousands of auditions previous that were, I'd say many of which were a disaster.
It's like so crazy. Like I can't imagine a better person for Schmidt, and like you're the best guy for Schmidt and the best guy for Dave.
I mean, they could have. I mean, maybe Topher, but I feel like I'm a close second.
Now, how did you land the role of Dave Johnson? By the way, I can't stop laughing. That show's funny. The Neighborhood,
I love The Neighborhood. I always wanted to do a multicam, which is in front of a live audience, which New Girl was not. And so New Girl had ended, and CBS was really the only place that was doing multicams at the time, and still kind of only is. And so we had been talking to them, and The Neighborhood came up, and then Cedric got involved. And I loved Cedric, was a big fan of his, and we had mutual friends. And we were talking about it and maybe doing it, and then the role came available, and it happened in a very odd way, but it was something that I couldn't turn down at that point. I luckily did not have to audition for that one. But it's been such a dream job, and hopefully when all these striking ends, we can go back to work.
True. That show is funny though. You and Cedric, like your dynamic is so funny. It's so cool.
Yeah, he's the greatest. I knew he was great going in. He's only exceeded expectations, and he's just one of the funniest, greatest leaders there is. And we have a really good thing. It's been really nice. You don't always find that.
I also like your wife in the show, Beth Beers. I don't know if you knew this. She actually has the same exact birthday as me, like December 26th. Did you know that?
You're a Christmas birthday too? I mean, I wish my kids were born on Christmas Day or like this. It's not extra presents. It's the same presents.
Presents?
That's right. Just one book. See you later.
Now, this next question is actually a fan question. It's from BBKY27. My immediate question would be asking what are the chances for a revival or reboot, but I already know he answered that, saying that you were hesitant about it. So I'll ask if the reboot was ever to happen, what would you want to see happen in the reboot? What would you, for a new girl?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's really not up to me. It's up to the writers.
Yeah.
People think it's so silly. You know, people think like that because we get asked this all the time. Like, would you ever do a reboot? And if you did a reboot, what would you want to do? As if we have any say in it.
That's
Other
true.
than like, I want to do it or I don't. It's all the writers. It was the writers in the beginning. There was a pilot without any of the actors. They wrote the show. And this is why the writers are striking, because they're like, we're undervalued. People don't see what we do. And they're right. But yeah, you know, I think if Liz Merriweather, who created the show, came to us and said, I want to do this again and I have a good way of doing it, and she had a real vision for it, I would do it in a second.
She calls you up, hey Max, we're doing it's coming back.
Exactly. If she called me up and she was like, hey, listen, I wrote 6 episodes I wrote six new episodes of New Girl, and whoever wants Hulu wants to do it, you go, yeah, great. Tell me where to show up.
Well, now the next question is from Sourest Lemons. These are funny usernames, by the way, all these usernames. What do Jake Johnson and Nick Miller have in common that makes them best friends with Max Greenfield?
Oh, well, the big secret behind Jake Johnson and Nick Miller and Max Greenfield and Schmidt and all of it. There's no real difference between any of it. It's just we would be fighting off camera, and then we'd step on stage and then continue our fight, and they would just film it.
So you guys would just have that dynamic chemistry?
Yeah, there's not a lot of acting.
This next question is from What a Newbie. That's the question. I know that Cece was the one, but how fun was it acting alongside Councilwoman Fawn Moscato? In another life, Schmidt and Fawn deserve their own spinoff. P.S. Schmidt was my favorite character. You were perfection in that role. No one else could have done better.
I like that you added in the stuff that's not part of the question, which was just nice things about me. I appreciate it. Yeah, Zola Jones was the best. She played Fawn. I've seen her like a bunch recently. She's super talented and so fun. We had so many like wildly talented people on that show, way more talented than I am, and that was part of the fun of that show, if not the most fun part of the show, which was all the incredible guest stars who came on.
Oh
That's like what's like one of the best parts about being on a long running show is that you sort of get bored. Doing so many hours of the same character with the same people. You're so excited when new people come in. And on that show, we just had an endless amount of incredible, wildly talented people come in, and it was so much fun.
It's crazy. Like how many guest stars, like Prince was on an episode. Like
Taylor Swift was on the show.
Like how you like how? You know what I mean?
Lee Curtis was on the show. Rob Reiner, Rob Riggle. It was incredible, man.
You work with so many. Wow.
I should have become better friends with Taylor Swift. I blew it.
This next question is from Real Cool Dad. What did you think Schmidt's name was going to be before they revealed it?
What do I? I did have a take on this.
You did.
I did, because they didn't tell me until I think we got that script. But I had always pitched that it was Brad Schmidt.
Your initials would be BS. If you think of it.
I like Brad.
Right. It's crazy. Like you with Winston Schmidt, Winston Bishop. Like what?
Winston was a better name. They did a better job, as always.
That was fun. Now this next question is another video question. Okay, you really like seeing Liu Kang, huh?
I was excited about that. He goes, I'm Luke Cage. Holy shit.
Like, damn, that's the legend, right?
Hi, Max. My name is Elizabeth Moy. I portrayed Ten Chen in the TV series called From. My question for you today is, what is the most challenging role you ever had to portray? And what is your process in terms of overcoming these challenges? I look forward to seeing and watching the interview. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Joe. Bye.
Another great question, Joe. I mean, man, they're all challenging, dude.
All the
They're all real. They're also, I mean, they're all really hard. And the goal is to make them look easy. And I don't always succeed. But yeah, they're all hard, every one of them. And I think they're all different. So that I think the way there is always dependent on whatever the circumstance is. But I think the more prepared you can be for anything, the better. Sometimes I'm just like, I really don't know what to do. And then I get there and I'm like, man, I still don't know what to do. That's not a great feeling.
Did you do anything like to help you overcome those challenges? Like you said, do you do anything? You said maybe be prepared.
Yeah, just work. Just like
work.
work, and then when you get there, just hope that the work paid off. I mean, you're not always in a position where you're able to rehearse. Rehearsal's the best thing. I love rehearsing, but you're not always in a position where you're able to do that. I mean, sometimes you show up, you do like a few rehearsals, you do like a camera block, and you're just supposed to have you're just supposed to be ready. Especially when you come into a lot of stuff that I do, which is, I'll come in and do like a couple days here or a couple days there. And it's difficult because you really are supposed to just show up and go. But it's one of the things I love about the neighborhood, because you get to rehearse all week, and then you wait till we're taping it by the end of the week, and it's so inside you at that point that it's free and easy, and you're able to make it look easy. But yeah, I don't know. Rehearsing is always my solution to everything.
Rehearsing. So rehearse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, also before the next question, do you ever hear that TV show? It's a really good show. I highly recommend. From. Did you hear that show before?
I have not heard of that show.
It's a really good show. It's like a horror show if you like horror.
I get you scared, Joe.
It's really good. I highly recommend. It's with the guy. Did you ever see Lost?
I scare easily, Joe. I'm telling you. Don't pitch it to me. I won't watch it.
So who's that behind him?
I watched Sleepless in Seattle the other day.
Was it good?
Great. I was like, why don't we not do these movies? Why don't we? This movie's so good. Stare at Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks for 2 hours. I was like, I'm in. I'm all in on this.
You're hooked.
Yeah.
So you don't see that guy in your chimney though? And that was the next question's from Fish and Wild Boots and Fur. Is there any storyline that you wanted the writers to pursue for Schmidt, but that didn't happen? Any storyline?
Yeah, there was a storyline I pitched over and over and over again. They never even considered it, but I kept pitching it, and they never did it. I mean, I guess it was Schmidt writes a spec, which is a spec is like when you write a version of a TV show on your own. It's just a sample of your writing, but he writes, or it's a sample of your writing and a version of a TV show that already exists. So I said that Schmidt wrote a spec Frasier script, and then tried to set up a table read with the friends in the loft. And then there was a big debate as to who was going to play Frasier. Schmidt thought he was Frasier, and no one agreed with him. And Jake would have played John Mahoney's character, the grumpy dad. And everyone agreed with that.
I could
But
see.
I don't know. It was a thin story. It was a thin story, but I wanted to do that.
You wanted Frasier and
Maybe I just wanted to do an episode of Frasier.
I'm assuming you're a big Kelsey Grammer fan then?
I love that show.
Wow. Okay. So if you could go back in time, we just want to go in an episode of Frasier. Okay.
I'd want to be Frasier. That's the problem. But then people said that they think the real conflict in the episode is people thought I was more of a Niles.
No. The brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Liz and the writers did not respond to that one. It's tough business, Joe. Tough business.
Living for Yoga asks, where did the funny inflections and mispronunciations come from? And was it a spur of the moment an acting choice or a random direction you received? And they love you, by the way. So. That's
cool. It comes from two places. One, it's just sometimes I get bored and it's funny to mispronounce a word. But that's only on a rare occasion. Other times I'll misread a word, or I actually don't know how to pronounce it, and then somebody will think it's funny, and I go, well, I'll just keep doing it, and if it's getting a laugh. But the real thing is, when I first moved out to LA from New York, I had a New York accent, and I was auditioning for all these shows like Everwood and Dawson's Creek and all these super North Carolina whatever shows. And my New York accent didn't play on that. So at audition they'd be like, there's no one from New York on the shows unless it's I guess specifically from New York, but that doesn't exist. So I had to get rid of my accent. And so I went to go see a vocal coach, and one of the things they had me do a lot of, or mostly, was just over enunciate words. And they had me walk around with a pencil in my mouth and really work my way around a word. So a lot of the mispronunciations are me just over enunciating a word. And a lot of that will just happen because I'll read the script, and as I'm reading the script, I'll over enunciate just to get through it. And then if a word pops up that's funny to over enunciate or sounds differently, I'll just keep it in.
Interesting. I was always curious too. When they asked, if you did you also do some improv too? Maybe on the spot with it, you improv a word wrong. Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, sure. There's a couple words. If there's a letter that shouldn't be in a word that, or that's silent, maybe it's sometimes fun to give that letter some noise.
Now, Possums for Office. I told you these are funny usernames these people have. Possums for Office. What's his most embarrassing story from his school years? And not in a mean way, but in a way we can all relate to.
The whole experience was embarrassing.
The whole middle school?
My God. I don't remember. It was the whole thing. I look back at pictures oh my God. All of it.
Do you still look the same, Max? Or do you look older? Or I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I probably look the same. Just still stupid looking. I was stupid looking then. I'm stupid looking now.
Yo, man. Tetris is totes super. Asks, what's the most ridiculous way you've ever been approached by a fan? And they're hoping people shout at you about driving moccasin.
Everybody's always been pretty cool, man. I haven't had anybody. I can't like think of a bad interaction that I've had with a fan.
No one's like yell random quotes at you, like you.
Some people yell quotes at me, but I find that to be fun.
That's cool. I find that I'd be like, oh my god, that's like they really like my character, you know.
If they're walking away from me and yelling the quote, it's great. If they're running towards me and yelling the quote, it's a little scary.
That is funny. Like, oh, do you ever get recognized up in public? I'm assuming you do, maybe, probably, right?
Every once in a while.
They're like, oh my god, it's Schmidt. Is that what they say?
Yeah, they get excited, or they scream like a quote, and it's fun. I like the look, man. I wanted to be on. I always wanted to be on a TV show, and the fact that people watched it and responded to it in the way that they have is, such a dream come true. And so when people yell it, it's like, great. Rather be in that position than like, still haven't gotten on, still auditioning for like I was.
Like, now I'm curious, like a side question. Did you ever sign? What's like the most weirdest thing you ever had to sign? I'm assuming, for signing autographs, like what's the most weirdest thing?
I'm not like a rock and roll star.
Well, we never know.
I get the fans I have are pretty tame.
They're like, sign my head.
No, none of that.
That'd be fun.
It's not Beatlemania for me, Joe.
I'm
not Michael Jackson.
Oh, so you're the fifth Beatle?
I'm not. The Beatles didn't want anything to do with me.
The next question is another video question. Max, okay, you ready? Ready? Okay. You're like, okay.
Hi,
oh, jeez. Okay, you ignore that. You didn't hear anything? I hope you heard it.
You gotta clean your screen, Joe.
Hi, I'm Dylan Snyder from Disney XD's Kickin' It. Now, back in 2011 when the show first came out, I remember I was going to Disneyland and some kids who had seen the show recognized me and came up for an autograph and photo. This small group that gathered around me caught attention and a much bigger group started forming until there was a complete traffic jam at Disneyland. Security guards had to step in, some tour guides came, and essentially they assigned somebody to me so that I could walk in all of the exits and not cause traffic jams at Disney. This is a moment where I noticed that everything was really changing because of my career, because of the show that had come out. So my question is, Max, what is a moment in your life that you noticed that everything was changing because of your career? All right, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I'm still waiting, man. I don't know. I don't think. I mean, other than the fact that like we moved out of the apartment that we were living in, we bought a house. That was cool, but I don't think anything changed that much.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed those paintings in the background. His background. Did you notice his paintings?
I saw a lot of artwork back there. I couldn't see it.
Oh, that's his wife's artwork. If you're curious.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And she's a fellow actress like him, so.
Right on. Yeah, no, man. I don't know that
Nothing yet.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. Maybe it'll happen for me one day.
Now, this next question is one of my own. Can you say some iconic quotes like 29 youths?
I think it's cooler when you say it, man.
I can't say it good.
You got it, Joe. Just give me one of them.
Youths. I can't do it.
You did it so good.
I can't do it good.
Don't break though. You gotta say it serious.
It's hard to have to laugh.
Tell me about it.
No, because I like when you say like the 29 youths, ladies love Schmidt. Are you the criminals from the?
I'll work one into our conversation. Let's keep going.
Okay. Awari asks, can you share any behind-the-scenes stories or hidden Easter eggs that fans may have missed throughout the whole show? that no one knows?
They probably know him better than I do. I missed more shit than anybody.
You're like, I know that happens. It's what...
People send me clips from the show, especially from New Girl, and I'm like this. I don't remember shooting this.
They made their own scene.
Joe, completely sober when I was shooting it, completely sober now. Don't remember a thing.
It's like the
some
memory.
of it. I mean, obviously, some of it I remember a lot. I mean, I guess a lot. There are a lot of scenes though where they'll send it to me, and I go, "Man, this is really funny. When did we do this?"
It's funny, like you'll remember. It's almost like the Men in Black moment, like like the flashlight. You forget. You're like,
yeah, totally. I feel like someone does that to me every day.
I get that.
I wake up, I go, "Oh my god, how did we get here?"
Now, OP asks, how far away was the bar from the loft? How far?
I mean, in real life?
I guess. I'm assuming. Probably. Probably not that far. It's probably just different set pieces, right?
It's probably not that. I mean, it's probably not that far. Because the exterior of the loft is in downtown LA. I think it's kind of like in the Arts District, maybe. I don't know. And then the bar, I think, is kind of in Koreatown. It's called the Prince. So it's probably like 20 minutes, maybe 20-minute drive.
So you're driving there right now? Okay.
We shot. You know, we shot. They eventually built the inside of the bar on a stage. And so that was helpful. We had like two main stages. One was the loft, and the next stage was the bar.
So that helped. Okay. Now, Bombas. What's your favorite performance of your co-stars that's not New Girl related? For like each of your co-stars, like what's your favorite role? Like Zoe, Jake, you know.
I got confused. Bombas like the socks?
It says Bombas. That's all it says. Is Bombas. That's all.
They're my favorite socks. I love it. And hey, if they're looking for someone to promote their socks, man, I'm in. I like them. Or just like send me some free socks. Bombas. So what do they ask?
What's your favorite performance of your co-stars? Like outside of the new work on New Girl, like Zoe, like your favorite role, hers, favorite role of Jake, favorite role. Well, I mean, like favorite role.
Yeah. Zoe's got a bunch of them.
She's got a great resume.
Yeah, she's got like some wild stuff. I mean, 500 Days of Summer and Almost Famous. She's so good in Almost Famous. When she plays like the cool older sister, she's so good, man. And Jake, because I mean, I like watching them in everything they do. Honestly.
Everything. I really like Jake in the Spider-Verse movie. You know.
So good.
That
last one. That last one was good. We just went to go see it. It was long though. Jeez Louise. My son was like, "What's going on?" I go, "I don't know. It doesn't feel like this thing is ending." And then it doesn't.
Just never ends. It's a never-ending movie. You're like, oh my god.
I go, do we buy tickets to the next one now? How do we do this? Fucking whatever.
Flying Pine Rock asks, the role he played in The Valet was pretty much a combination of him being into politics for fun and cheating on both Cece and Elizabeth. Was he chosen? Was he chosen for that role because of that? And was that character inspired by that?
No, but funny enough, we talked about it a little bit when I met with the director Richard Wong. He was so cool. But I think like we learned a lot making New Girl, and being in a position where you're like balancing these two women, and like sort of how to play that and what goes, and how to sort of how to tell the story of a guy who was in that position. So I think there was some, like, you know, there was a little bit of crossover. But I love that movie. That was fun to do. Everybody in that movie I love.
It was really cool. Like, I saw Samara Weaving. She was really good in it. You know?
She's the best. She's so good. Really funny too. And Eugenio's incredible.
I remember you told me to check out, because I checked out after you mentioned it to me, like when it came out.
Yeah, it was cool. It's a good movie. Rich Wong did a great job with that movie. He's a really good filmmaker. I was like real lucky to work with him.
And anything that features Max Greenfield, you know, is a certified classic. So, same.
Thanks, Joe.
You know, I mean, like, look, the collage, it says it all, you know. Now, this next question is another video question. Max, I got video questions for you, Max. You're like, damn.
No, I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous.
You're like, who is it?
All right, here we go.
Hi, Max. My name is Brian Froud. I'm a voice actor from Canada, home of Maple Syrup and Martin Short. So I noticed you worked on Bob's Burgers. A friend of mine, Katie Crown, works on Bob's Burgers. We were in a show together called Total Drama Island, and I played Harold. Gosh! Awesome! Sweet! And Sam. Oh man, I love video games. And I was on a show called Jimmy Two Shoes. Hey, how you doing? I'm Jimmy. Oh wait, I'm Beezy. Yeah, anyway, enough about my resume. I also noticed you worked with America Ferrera on Ugly Betty. I was roommates with Lauren Ash, whom she was on Superstore with. Very cool. Loved you in Promising Young Woman. What a great film. Among others. My partner, Kat, is a marshmallow, and they would like to know, as a father of a daughter, which iconic female performer would you like your daughter to take influence from? And do you have any wacky stories from on the set of Veronica Mars? Thanks, Max.
Oh, man, I really had to try to pay attention. That went on for a while. I was like, "Where's the question?"
You like the voices, by the way? That's all his character.
I know. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I've been real lucky, man. I've worked with a lot of incredible women who I'd probably like my daughter to hang out with all of them. You mentioned one before, Samara Weaving is great. You know, Zoe, who Lily knows. We were just at her house for her kid's birthday party, and they had the best time. Kristen Bell, like all of America, they're all like, these are all. I'm like, forget about my daughter. Like, I want to hang out with them. I'm always like, how do you do this? Hey, that one thing when you did this, how'd you do that? Yeah, no, they're all smarter than me and better than me. I like, forget about my daughter. Like, I enjoy hanging out with them. They're a good influence on me.
You mentioned Beth, my birthday.
Oh, Beth is the best. Beth, Lily's probably spent the most time with Beth. Yeah, and she's like, she checks all the buttons. You know, she's super into horses, which is really great, and like all these things. My daughter is like, and myself too, are like, can we go hang out with the horses? And Beth is like, yeah, next weekend, like I'll be at the barn. And we're like, you said that last weekend though.
I want to see the horses now.
But yeah, man, I've been way lucky. I've been worked with so many like incredible, funny, smart women, and it's been so much. It's like I'm the one who has learned from them and enjoyed spending time with them.
And they're all talented too. Like, they're all very good at their craft, you know.
Yeah, it's way better than I am.
And do you have any, like, his other question was, do you have any wacky stories from the set if I'm on the set of Veronica Mars? Do you have any wacky stories?
Any wacky stories?
Anything, Leo? That's your characters.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. It all feels wacky. And not only that, all the shows. You show up, you're like, what are we doing tonight? Man, this is nuts. That's why we do it. It's so much fun. If it wasn't wacky, it'd be so boring.
Be like, oh, what is this?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Now, Latia45, are there any initial versions of Schmidt that we'd be surprised to hear about? Like a version where he was super into disco and herbal cigarettes, or something similar in how alien it is to Schmidt we know now? Like, is there any like different versions?
No, there was never any different versions.
There wasn't like this Schmidt that was like, I don't know, a nerd. I don't know.
No, there was only one version, and it stayed the same, and it only just got stronger and stronger as time went on. But there was no other version.
It's like it's almost sounds like a multiverse type of thing.
Yeah, but only he's the same in every universe.
Now, Honey Badger on the Prowl. I love your character Schmidt and its quirks. I love the friendship between you and Nick. Did you have a Nick in your life, and what other sources do you draw inspiration to play Schmidt?
No, I don't think I don't think I really had a Nick in my life. I think Jake and I really understood who our characters were, and we understood who we were, and we spent so much time together that we just would argue.
Remarkable Toe 4423 asks, was it difficult to work with American Horror Story character after being Schmidt for so long?
No, it was fun. It was great. Like, that was the nice thing about that show. You would do New Girl for 8 months out of the year, 9, whatever it was. And then if I was lucky enough, I'd get to go do something like American Horror Story or any of the other stuff that I've done, and do something totally different. And American Horror Story is a great example. And anytime I've gotten to work with Ryan, where it's like you get to do something totally different. The set feels different. The character's different. The tone is different. And as an actor, you're just like, these are just such gifts.
And you're the guy that says you don't like horror, remember? You don't like scary stuff.
I hate it. I mean, I can work on it because it's not scary when you're working on it. It's actually kind of fun, but I won't watch it. I've never seen any of it.
Would you want to be like in a horror movie, like a Jason Halloween?
Well, maybe. I mean, it'd be fun if it was like fun people. I wouldn't watch it though.
Yeah, this Jason's chasing after you. Oh shit!
Like, what'd you think of the movie? I'm too scared to watch it.
Now, this next one's another video question. This is your second to last video question, by the way. So we're coming to a close soon. Your video questions, okay?
Hey Max, John Michael Lyles here. Played in the NHL for 14 years for the Colorado Avalanche, Toronto Maple Leafs, Carolina Hurricanes, and Boston Bruins. Schmidt's one of my all-time favorite characters ever. Just had a couple questions, favorite NHL team, and then any hockey memories, whether it's favorite team, favorite player, or even yourself growing up. Thanks.
So, I already know the answer to the hockey team, though.
I'm gonna disappoint your friend here. I can't skate. I'm not very good at it. I've tried. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you guys like move so fast on those knives. I can't do it. I tried. I like the Islanders. I guess I sort of always liked the Islanders, but then I wore a jersey in a scene in New Girl.
Mm.
And then I did there's a run on New Girl where I'm yelling at this guy and I'm screaming about Long Island. And they play it in all the games now. And so they always send me these jerseys, and I'm like, right on, man. I'm with you guys all the way. So when the Islanders make the playoffs, I'm rooting hard. So go Islanders on that one, and then hockey memories. I don't know. Hockey's a fun sport. It's the best sport to watch live. I'll tell you one. We got to watch. I asked I asked my agency once. I was like, "Hey, man, can I go to a Kings game?" And they gave me tickets, and their tickets were right on like the glass. And I was with my daughter, who was young at the time. So, and like, because you're on the glass, and there's the wall, and then the glass. And she was so small at the time, she couldn't really see over the wall. So I had her on my lap, which means she was closer to the glass. And this guy slammed into the glass. The whole thing moves. So it felt like it was gonna the whole wall was gonna come down on us.
Oh crap!
And everyone looked at her like, "Are you okay?" And she just looked around like, "Oh my god!" And then I put her back in her seat because I felt like that might have been dangerous. But that was pretty exciting. It's one of the greatest sports. I love it. I love watching it. I love going to the games. I wish I could skate.
Did you have a favorite player growing up? Like he asked, do you have a favorite player? Like Islander player by chance?
Did I have any favorite? Well, no, there was a guy on the Rangers who I really liked because he always used to get into fights. I think his son plays now, Ty Domi.
Oh, Max Domi now. His son plays with Toronto. His name's Max.
Yeah.
He's got your...
Yeah, he was cool, man. You would be like, dude, Ty Domi got into a fight last night. Let's watch that.
That's funny. Because I feared it because you like hockey so much. Like I remember you liked hockey, so and he loves you. He actually loves Schmidt so much. He always tells me that. So that's so cool.
I like the guys who play defense. The defensive guys, I always like.
Yeah, he's a defenseman. He's actually a defenseman. That's his.
Really? Defensive guys were always my favorite.
Awesome. Now, Lisney, if you could have played any other character on New Girl, who would you want to portray? Any other character?
I would do such a bad job at all of them.
You would want to play Nick?
No, it'd be terrible.
So just
I could play Jess's dad. I feel like I could do a decent enough Rob Reiner.
No, Bosbina. That's not Bosnia, but Bosbina. What was your favorite improvised douchebag jar line that never got aired? Like that never went in the show?
Oh my god, no idea.
There's so many. That's funny too.
There's a million of them, and I don't remember a single one.
It's funny, like when they would say jar. That would always be fun. Now, NB Eagle. What is the best duo on the show? In their opinion, it's Cece and Winston Bishop. That's their opinion. The best duo.
Well, that's why the show worked though, because like all the duos were great, and that's why I think you need, for a show to last a really long time, you need to be able to have storylines with all the different characters, and you can match up all the characters on the show in different pairings and have them go off and do something. And that to me is why Friends works, and that's why New Girl works. That's why any of those shows like that work. Is because you can Big Bang Theory, you can match up any of the people on the show and just and give them their own storyline. So I mean I don't know that there was like a best one. They were just all different and fun in their own way.
You guys had like great chemistry, almost like family, like.
Yeah, totally. Also, you spend that much time together, you're just like this. What? We're not acting anymore. There's no acting going on. It's just what are the lines? Joe's brother sabotaged the interview. He screwed up all the technology, and we lost the last 15 minutes. So I'm back, and I'm wearing a different hat. Joe's wearing the same clothes though. Joe put in the effort. I did not.
I guess you could say you call us 3.5. I guess.
Yeah, sure.
So where we left off. Oh my god, the fan questions from Tay Gold 7. How do you avoid bringing Schmidt's mannerisms into your other roles? Because I remember watching an episode of The Neighborhood with my sister, who also watched New Girl, and we couldn't stop saying that Dave is so Schmidt. Also, they love you, Max. So
yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah, it's really I try not to think about it at all, because I definitely don't want to put myself in a position where I'm limiting what I can and cannot do. Plus, I don't remember so many things I did on New Girl. But if the writing's funny, then Schmidt is bound to come out, or things I've done as Schmidt is bound to come out in other roles. And it should.
I guess you could say Schmidt happens, you know? You know what I mean?
I mean, you could, Joe. You could.
Now, the next question, because you were I remember you were confused when we recorded this.
I'm always confused. I'm always confused, Joe. Constantly. That's my resting state.
Colonia Croissant, ask him what the F he even meant when he said, I looked up the clip, by the way, so you can see the clip that they're talking about. Goose pimples, look, each one a memory. And when the F, where the F did the line come from? Because hands down, that was their favorite line, like no one talks about. And they didn't even mention the New Girl We Watch podcast.
Totally. Yeah, Joe, you saying it right now feels like the first time I'm ever hearing it. I don't, there's not a single brain cell of mine that remembers saying that line. It feels like I'm hearing it for the first time right now. So I wish I could answer the question. I can't. But I'm glad they enjoyed it.
Well, if you're curious, I believe it or not. Okay, so I found the clip. It's on YouTube. It's like a viral clip, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah. Max, I was like, what the hell? Okay.
Goose pimples. Look, each one a memory.
Do you remember that though? Do you remember that?
Well, the only thing I do remember, you could see in the foreground. I think it's Lamorne doing the bells, which is early, man. That's season 1, you know, episode
7.
Like, early.
Yeah.
But that's about as much as I remember. I remember Lamorne hurt his hand playing bells, and we made fun of him for the rest of the series.
But there's the line on question. If you're curious now, you know how you could see yourself saying that quote. Like,
Stuff like that happens all the time. People will be like, "Hey, man, it was really funny when you said this in the show." I don't remember that at all, but thanks.
Like, what are you talking about? Thank you. I get that. Now, Jay Boyer 296692 OBJ. How many takes did it take him to nail the scream when he realizes Jess made out with his dad?
Oh yeah, only a few. I honestly, we did it once or twice, maybe adjusted the third time. I don't think I did much beyond that because I really didn't want to lose my voice, and I knew I was going to. And I said, guys, this is gonna be bad. I'm gonna lose my voice. But I think we got it. It also felt like we really got it right on the first or second one, so there was no reason to keep going.
Nice. That hurt my vocal cords, like screaming. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah,
you want to try it?
No, are you crazy, man? I can't scream good. I'd probably wake up the whole day for that. You know what I mean?
Go hard.
Say no loud. Just say just no.
But it'll scare your brother, and you'd be like, and your brother, oh man. And you like this. I can't believe you sabotaged the interview.
So just say no. Okay. Okay.
Don't do it. You're gonna hurt yourself.
No, Kitty.
Your mom's gonna get scared, and then I don't want to deal with that. What did you do to Joe?
Kitty Moon 98. What with your upcoming voice role in Flash, Escape the Midnight Circus? Would you ever want to portray Barry Allen, you know, the Flash in live action? And they would love to see you play that character. They would love.
Would you like to see me play the Flash?
That'd be cool. I'd love to see you play a superhero.
I'll tell you right now, Joe. I'm pretty fast.
I mean, that'd be cool. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see maybe in a DC or Marvel or anything. You know.
Call the people in charge, because let me tell you something. I can run.
You can run?
I can't do too many takes, though. I'm at an age where running for many takes would injure me. But I can run for 1 or 2 takes. Not far, but I could, if you know, with the camera, the camera does amazing things these days. You speed that up, I'll be moving.
Be fast as fuck, as they say.
That was the nicest part about doing the podcast. I was like, oh, so I don't have to run?
That's cool. That's really cool. Now, this question is my own question. How do you choose the title and color of your books? How do you choose?
Oh, yeah. I like this question. So the orange was very specific. The books are published by Penguin, who I felt very honored to be working with them. And the orange is sort of their signature color. And I wanted those two things to match. And I wanted the cover to be, I had a feeling we were going to do a couple of books. And I wanted each one to have its own distinct color. And I wanted it to be bold in that way. So with the orange, the green, and the next one is blue. I don't want to read this book aloud.
Any inspiration behind the titles though? Like, why is it like doop? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make it as clear as day. Plus, I'm not that creative. The first one's I don't want to read this book. It's about why you don't want to read a book. This book is not a present. It's about why it's sometimes disappointing to receive a book as a present. And I don't want to read this book aloud is about, why it's sometimes scary to read books aloud. Not brain surgery.
Are you planning? Do you have like titles for your new ones, like the fourth, technically the fifth, like the future books?
There's no fourth.
There's no fourth one yet.
No, I might be working on something, but it's not in this. It's not in the book. It's not in like the. It's a book, but it's not for young readers.
Ooh.
In this way.
Okay. Can I remember when I asked?
Breaking news, Joe.
Because I remember you mentioned because we kept saying totally. Do you remember that when we first recorded?
I can't. Look, man. If you're asking me to memorize my lines, I can't. I do it once, and then it goes out. It goes out of my brain. I couldn't even remember the line I said on TV that you just showed me. That's somebody's favorite line. I don't remember that at all.
Do you remember what you had for breakfast
this morning?
I guess.
I do.
Eggs, probably pancakes. I
had some eggs. and I had a little bit of cereal. I don't like too much cereal, but I had enough.
Okay. Well, this next question is more of the video question. Remember the last video question? Do you remember me showing you video questions at least?
I remember you showing me video questions, yeah, but I don't know which one this is. I remember the guy from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Liu Kang, you were so happy. You're like, oh my god, damn, that's like
cool, man.
Hey Max, what's going on, brother?
Oh
this
yeah.
is Rizzo Alexander, and I hear you were a fan of my work in Buffalo. So I'm just going to assume you're a part of Bill's Mafia. So go Bills. I also know you live a purpose-driven life, which you have shared with people through your children's book, The Upside of Being Down, and working with organizations like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and the Trevor Project. I'm sure you have had some amazing experiences working with kids, and I would love to hear your why behind the reason you leverage your experiences to impact others. And maybe a lesson you learned along your journey that you often use to inspire others. God bless and be safe. Can't wait to hear your answer.
Oh, Jesus, plan. Okay. Okay, so let's. Yeah, okay.
Well, that guy seems real inspiring, and I'm afraid to tell him that I'm sure. Let's just, for the sake of this interview, Joe, we'll say that I'm in the Bills Mafia. I'm not really in the Bills Mafia. I was a Giants fan for a long time, and now we have their coach. But again, I don't know. I like Josh Allen. Let's not make it a football interview. Yeah, I mean, I appreciated everything that that he was asking me and he had to say. I guess talking about my why. I think the why changes constantly, but the books and I hope that all the work that I am lucky enough to do comes from experiences that I've had and draws on experiences that I've been through with my family and with the people around me, and hopefully all that goes into whatever I'm doing, and that informs why I then am doing it. So I hope that's a good enough answer.
I mean, you are like an inspiration, though, Max. Come on, like you really are cool. I look up to, like I said, you really like my mom. You're really
Thanks,
cool.
man. I do, really, I do everything for Joe's mom. Joe's mom's my inspiration. Joe's brother. Actually, first it goes Joe's brother, then Joe's mom, and then Topher Grace.
This guy.
He's gonna be so mad at you. He's never gonna do the podcast.
It's a funny joke though between you and
But I can't believe you did that. It'd be funny if I did that, but now he's gonna be upset with you. Topher disgrace? Crazy, man. It's crazy. You went so hard at Topher.
Now, remember how you said I don't know if you remember this. You said you had questions for me. It was going to do with remember the bear. You said
Did you had you seen the bear?
Ever since the last.
Yeah. Did you watch it since I last told you to watch it?
3 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I actually did. I gave it a chance. I watched it. It's actually pretty good. I'll watch more of it.
I don't want to ruin the ending for you. You know, there's 2 seasons. I don't want to ruin the second season for you. But at the end, they're at a high end restaurant, and it's because it takes place in Chicago. One of a child at a table is expressing his disappointment at having not had deep dish pizza while being in Chicago, and they make some magic happen, and they bring him some deep dish. And I thought of you, Joe, and I said,
Joe's place.
Just gonna ruin this kid's whole trip because he's gonna go, what's this? This isn't what I thought. This is just like a thick bread with tomato sauce.
Yeah, I think you called it like oh my god, bread lasagna.
Bread lasagna. Yeah.
Well, yeah, come to Chicago. We don't have to have deep dish. We can have pizza.
I'm not going because you're gonna try to force feed me deep dish, and I don't want it.
What's it called? What was that? Oh, did you see that one show I highly recommend too? You said you recommend a show for me. Did you ever see Barry? That's a good show.
Barry?
Yes.
Of course I've seen Barry.
It's a good show.
Very good show.
Since you mentioned shows, you know.
Too many shows, man. I mean, look, not enough shows. Got to make more. Got to make more.
Yeah, it's true. No, any other questions before I ask my last thing?
I'm ready for the last one, Joe.
I'm assuming you want me to link down your Instagram. That's what I'm saying. You want me to link down your Instagram so people can follow you there? You know, your social medias?
Oh yeah, man. I need to get my follows up.
Also buy his books. His books here in pre-order. You know the third one? Sure.
Third one. I don't want to read this book aloud.
September 19th.
You're gonna like it, Joe.
Really? I'm excited. These are both really good. Bingo the dog, you know. Sorry. Nice.
There's an elephant in the new one.
Does the elephant have a name? It does, doesn't it?
I don't want to give anything away, but the elephant's name. I'll give the name away. You want to know what the name of the elephant is?
What you got?
Elephant.
Elephant's name is Elephant.
Yeah.
I've noticed like every year we've done like an interview, like in 2021, 2022, like that'd be cool, like to do every year, you know?
Yeah, or we do like every 3 years.
It's fun talking to you for part 4. You know, I'm excited for that one. You can talk about your third one.
Yeah, we gotta get some. I gotta figure something out cool to talk about.
Thank you, and Max, for being an awesome, amazing guest again. I had a fun time chatting with you. Thank you.
For a second time, because of your brother and his pranks.
Have a great day, everybody, and stay awesome. And you stay awesome, Max.
You stay awesome too, Joe.